Hey guys, welcome back to One Project at a Time. Here today we're working on the trailer again. This will be episode 2 in the series, so bring you along for the ride. I've just got to mark out my size on the metal that I'm using for the back of the trailer here. Now this is just a C channel that I got from a local metal supplier here in town. Wasn't very expensive. I think it's about $150 for 10 meters. Yeah, something like that. Now it's, as you can see, there's a bit of scale and rust on it. Now that's not rust. It's basically just like a scale. It's just been sitting out in the weather. That'll clean up in 2 seconds with a bit of sandpaper or a grinder, and it'll be good to use and weld and be strong. Be no issues there whatsoever. I've just got a carpenter's pencil and something that I picked up at Hammer Barn, or Bunnings as it's actually called. I thought everyone in America's probably heard of Hammer Barn. If you've ever seen the show Bluey, it's quite big in America, I know. Yeah, that's where I got this from. It's just a cheap. It was only about $2, and it just goes on like a normal sharpener with a pencil and sharpens up your carpenter's pencil. Is beautiful. The other way you can do it, of course, is if you've just got a Stanley knife and you just whittle it down sharp. Whatever works for you, whatever you find easy. Funny bit of trivia, actually. As a lot of you know, that this channel I created for my, if you don't know, I suppose I should explain. This channel was created for my daughter, Eva-Jean. She was 2 years old, and unfortunately she passed away on the 26th of February this year. It's been a hard road, and I've just started to get out in the shed, as the channel name says, get into it one project at a time, get my head right, and it's really helping. And you guys are helping as well. The comments and the feedback is really good, and I want to be able to help more, not just young men, women, whoever needs it, that's going through a rough time. Just get your head out of that space for a little while. Come with me for half an hour at a time, and we'll all just chill out and do a bit of work in the shed. It sounds stupid, maybe, but it does help. And once I'm finished with a lot of these, plan is to sell them, and a portion of the sales will be going to help men's mental health. One of the charities I've aligned myself with is Blokes Foundation. If you haven't heard of Blokes Foundation, just give them a Google. I'll put a link in the channel description just so you can see. Go and check them out. They're doing some really good things for young men in Australia, and helping with their mental health. Okay, so I don't want to just keep harping on about that. That's not what this is about today. So we'll just get into it. Pretty sure I just waffled on nothingness then. I'll look at this when I edit it, but you know, if you see it, you know it was pretty funny. If you're not seeing it, I'm not even watching this. So anyway, cool. So I already went ahead and measured my boat that is going on this trailer. Now the boat that's going on the trailer is a 4.5 meter, what they call Quintrex fishabout in Australia. In the US, I guess similar to a John boat, I think you call them. It's just an aluminium boat. It's 4.5 meters, which is roughly 14 foot. It's got a Johnson 35 horsepower on it, 2-stroke, and it's quite a good fishing boat. You're going to see that on the channel soon. We'll do some more on that. I've got to get it ready and get it usable for summer when it comes back here in Australia. At the moment it's winter, it's miserable, it's cold, and yeah, good time to be working on these sorts of things. So I've already gone ahead and got my measurements for that. The trailer needs to be not extended, remade back to 650 mil extra on each end. That will give me my 2 sides, and then we'll put a piece across the back of it. I've already got the measurements, as I said. So all I'm going to do, get my tape measure here on the end of my metal. I got this cut down at the metal store. A lot of metal places will do that for you. So it only comes in 10 meter lengths, but 10 meters was too much for what I needed. So what they actually did was cut them at 4.5 for me. So they're easier to handle, easier to work with, and I don't actually waste any metal. So yeah, that's pretty nice of them. But anyway, now we're going to measure our measurement here. So from the end there, I know I've got 650 mil. There it is, mark. As you can see, I've already done it earlier, but I'm just going to show you how I did it so you can see how I got to what I got. Get that out of the way now. Then the next part, or that, we are going to go again because I need 2. Bang, and just a mark, 650. Beautiful. Now, next thing I do, I've just got a speed square. Again, you can get these cheap from anywhere, big box store, retailers, anywhere you can find them. I actually got this on Temu, of all places, and I think it cost me maybe 50 cents. So it's not bad. It's actually made out of metal, so pretty good. Anyway, I just, to the edge, nice and flat, line up my mark, and then bang, 650. And on the face, make sure it's up tight, 650. Dead straight lines. The reason that I mark across the top and then I've marked it down there, so when I get the grinder out, cut it, I'm going to be cutting in this sort of angle right on the edge, and then I can see my mark, the top and the bottom. Now, if you want, you don't have to use a carpenter's pencil. What you can also use is, they call it a soapstone, I think, is an engine, like an engineer's chalk. The pencil, I can see it perfectly fine here because I've got pretty good lighting. If you can't, the soapstone, or even just a bit of kid's chalk, is white, so it stands out a little bit more. If that's easier for you, then there's so many different ways you can do it. The main thing is your marks are accurate, because you don't want to cut this, and then you've got your 2 pieces, and all of a sudden one of them's 50 mil bigger than the other, or God forbid 50 mil shorter, because then you can always cut it down if it's a little long. Can't really add it on. You can with welding and stuff, but it's a lot of stuffing around. I'd rather it just be the right size to begin with. In saying that, I have many occasions have cut things wrong because I've rushed. So the big key takeaway is just take your time, get your measurements, measure it right the first time, so you're not wasting time cutting, and especially like you're not wasting material. I know, like this, a 10-meter length of this C channel, it's only $150, but $150 adds up pretty quick. And if you start stuffing them up, you're going to start running into a fairly decent cost. Anyway, cool. So we've got our marks now, and I don't need that now. Just cut up there. So the next step will be, now I've just got to get my grinder set up, and we will cut this to length, and I'll bring this along with me. First things first, safety gear. If you don't see me wearing my safety gear, just yell out, because my wife will kill me. Just yell out and tell us, hey, Carrie, he's not wearing any safety gear again. Thanks. Okay, now, even though I wear glasses, my normal day-to-day glasses, I'm still swapping out for safety glasses using a grinder, because my normal glasses aren't actually rated for metal and stuff to fly into them, and they're pretty expensive, so I don't really want to destroy them. Whereas these are cheap, inexpensive safety glasses. They only cost about, I think they're only about $2, and they will protect your eyes, and they will save your eyes. And you only get one set of eyes, so I wouldn't be messing around with them. I've got my new welding helmet that I brought in a long ago, and it can actually work for grinding as well. The only thing I find with it is a little bit cumbersome when I'm just trying to do a cut with a grinder. So I sort of tend to just stick with the safety glasses and gloves. And where are my gloves? Can you see them? Oh, thanks for that. Yeah, safety glasses and gloves. So, them on. Come on. The other thing I always wear when I'm grinding now is my earmuffs, hearing protection. Grinders are very loud. I think they're somewhere up around 100 decibels, and that can permanently damage your hearing, especially over long periods of time. So don't mess around with it. Don't mess around with safety. Don't mess around with your hearing, your eyes, your hand protection. It's not worth it in the end. So yeah, let's crack into it. So what I'm going to do now, obviously, as I said, I've marked it up. You come along with that. We're just going to cut here, and it's not relatively light metal. It's not heavy, so I'm just going to cut and let it drop on the ground here. If you don't want to do that, you can quite easily just stick a sawhorse on the other end and have it so that it won't just drop. I'm just going to, because I've got the room and I've got the space and it's safe for me to do so. Before doing that, make sure you're wearing safe shoes if you are going to drop it, so you don't drop it on your foot. Last thing you want to be doing is wearing a pair of thongs and chop your toe off. I don't think your wife will appreciate it, or your partner, whoever. And not just that, you're probably not going to appreciate the pain. So, yeah. All right. Heat protection on. Let's get a cut on. All right. Let's go. me now? Cool. Just so I'd point out something else I like to do. When I was cutting, if you see with the grinder, now, again, no expert, don't quote me on this, but what I like to do is come across with the grinder and I'll sort of score and follow the line I've made across there and then across there. And then when I go in for my cut and start to plunge into the metal, it sort of grabs and follows that line. So that's how you get a nice, neat cut. That's the way I do it. That's the way I found it works. If you've got a better way that works or another tip, feel free to drop it in the comments so other people can learn. Let's get back into it. Okay, now I've cut my pieces. Just on a side note, should be common sense, but just if you've never worked with metal before or grinding or cutting, when you cut the metal, it's going to be very, very hot. So make sure you're wearing gloves if you go to pick it up. Whatever you do, don't put your hand on that. Show if you cut it, because you will burn the absolutely living hell out of your hand. Cool, so now we have our two sections. So they're my two sections for the back end of the trailer. So what I'm going to do now is I've got a bit of extra metal here that I don't need right now, so I'm just going to get it out of the way. All right, now that I've done that, that's cut size. Let's see how we go. Just checking it here to make sure it's going to line. Like, obviously that's not perfect yet. I will be getting it straight and clamming it all in. Just sort of want to see how it's going to sit and line up. So far we are so good, as they say. All right, everyone, here we go, ready to do our first weld. Now I'll show you you'll see where I lined it up. I didn't film me getting it all lined up. There was a little bit of a struggle, but I've got it lined up now. And where did I put it? Where's my straight edge? Where did you just put it? Stop hiding my tools on me. What I tell you is about hiding my tools. This is not a straight edge. This is that speed square I was talking about earlier, but it still has a straight edge on it. And I've got that lined up. I know you probably can't see it from there, but it is all nice and square. So let's give it a tack and we'll see what happens. Now don't judge me on my welding. I am not a professional welder, but as a bloke on a channel that I watch, Ambition Strikes, always says that grinder and paint makes me the welder I ain't. So let's get on with it. Did you just remember to put your glasses on? Cover your face. What I'm doing with this is just, again, cheap tools, nothing expensive. It's just a little knockoff hammer that I got from Hammer Barn, Bunnings. It's just knock off your slag, make sure that your weld's good. The other thing that I usually will do, could you stop stealing my tools? I'll go get it. Just a simple wire brush. And that can just help to get that bit of slag out of the way so you can see how your weld's going. The clamps that I'm using here, again, are just cheap, really cheap clamps. Probably should be metal, preferably, but these are all I've got, so we make do with what we have. These came from Temu. Again, another cheap, easy fix. But yeah, so it looks like I've got a pretty decent, hard enough weld there. It's fairly solid, which is good. So what I'm going to do now, I'll bring you in for a closer look. So what I'm going to do now, as you can see there, I've got that little cut, that little weld just in there. I'm going to bring it down here and fill up that little gap there. Okay. wish me luck. Let's give it another go, and put your safety shields on. Don't forget. Oh, just the reason I keep putting it down, don't have to put it on and off. This helmet's actually got a auto darken feature. As soon as I strike an arc, it instantly turns on. Just another important tip when you are welding, I would try and not let your helmet fall on your head. Try and get yourself in a comfortable position before you start. As you see, I wasn't in a very good position. I'm going to get myself orientated so I'm comfortable, and then I'll start. Oh, again, another good tip. Before you start welding, make sure the two bits of metal that you're going to weld are nice and clean, and you don't have any stuff to get through paint or anything like that. Should be bare metal. Again with our knockoff hammer. A bit of a wire brush. Now, the reason you want to do that is because you want to make sure you've got an actual proper weld under there. Sometimes when you've got too much slag on there, the slag will actually cover, and the blackness will actually cover a hole in the weld or where it's not joined properly. Now this is not going to be under massive amounts of stress or tension, but I still don't want the back end of my trailer falling off halfway down the road. So you want to make sure it's a proper weld. What I will do with this one, I'm welding on the outside. I will probably come back in and do another weld on the inside, on the inseam, just to make sure it's perfectly welded. Well, it's not pretty, but it'll do. Bring it in for a closer look. She's not the prettiest weld in the world, but she's solid. I don't claim to be some expert welder. Bit of bird chip welding they call it, but it will hold together. And as I said, grinder and paint makes me the welder I am. The next bit I want to get to is underneath. So it's going to be a little tricky, but I'm going to give it a crack. What I do need to do though is I need to remove one of my clamps. Don't need that anymore. I don't need this one anymore. So as you can see, that's already solid. Like, that's moving with the trailer. That's a solid piece of metal now. But I do want to make sure it's all there, because any crack, any gap will create a weak point. So I want to seal them in with my welding. That was welding upside down. That is not fun. Okay, that's a nice solid weld now on the outside. I'm going to come over your side now, and I'm going to get the inside. Don't move anyway. Now, I might block this shot a bit here. If I do, I'm sorry. And well, actually, if I do, you probably won't see it because I cut it out. We'll have a go and see how much of it you guys get to see. Now, one thing I'm doing again, that is just preparation, because I've got some slag built up. I just want to clean it off before I go welding again. That is completely solid, by the way. That's ain't going anywhere. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my grinder now with my grinding disc on it, and I'm going to clean up these welds, and then I'm going to make a decision from there what we're going to do next, whether we're going to reinforce it if I'm worried about it, or we're happy with the way it is. Time for some grinding now. Back to the safety glasses and earmuffs. So, after I've cleaned it up, grind it down, a couple little spots I just want to fill in with a bit more weld, and then I think it's going to be as strong as anything. Hey guys, thanks for watching episode 2 of the trailer build series. Yeah, I think it was quite good. It ended up being a bit longer than what I thought, so I've cut this into multiple episodes. So even more content for you guys, yay! This one will drop Monday, Australian time, and hopefully, I think I might drop the second one probably Wednesday. Yeah, third one, sorry, it'll actually be the third episode. So yeah, look forward to that. And yeah, thanks for liking, subscribing, watching, sharing, and we'll see you on the next one. Till then, just remember, keep it one day at a time, one project at a time. We don't have to do it all today, just one project at a time.